Yo, what is good, guys? So today we're just going to be cleaning up some of the cabinet meetings that we didn't get to finish on stream the last couple of times. We might only get to finish up this one, but let's go ahead and get right into it, and let's go.
Kelly?
Mr. President, it's such an honor to serve in this administration. And on behalf of Main Street America, for our 34 million small businesses that make up 99% of all businesses in this great nation, I have to tell you, under your leadership, Main Street is open for business again. They're thriving and they're investing. And the data that we have at the Small Business Administration, the loans that we're putting out, a record 26,000 loans in your first 100 days means that 2,000 small businesses each week are receiving that funding, that investment in the future. Small businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs in this country, and we've already seen under your leadership the jobs economy is back. Manufacturing jobs are back. We've seen a 38% increase in manufacturing loans. We put out 1,500 manufacturing loans in your first 100 days. We saw startups increase by 54%, and we saw businesses under 5 people increase by 95%. So your leadership on the economy matters to every region of this great nation. I'll tell you, on the manufacturing front, I'm out on a national manufacturing tour. We've met with 250 manufacturers, and as I walk through the factory floors, they all ask me to thank you for fighting for their jobs, for these industries, and for the people who are creating things from pharmaceuticals to aerospace, to food, and all these essentials that this nation needs to be independent and strong. And to that end, I'm working with Congress. We'll be announcing tomorrow an upsizing of our manufacturing loans to make sure that that economic engine, because 98% of all manufacturers are small businesses. It's incredible to walk through these factories that are really creating what you had in your first administration, the blue collar boom. It's now a new collar boom because it's the intersection of technology and manufacturing and what they can create for our war fighters, for our aerospace, for pharmaceuticals with less than 300 to 500 employees, sometimes 100 employees. I was at a factory in Georgia on Monday that is creating machines to help with the Iron Dome in Israel, less than 50 employees. This is the engine of our economy. It's the heartbeat of our communities. It's the small businesses that helped elect you because they needed your economic agenda. So thank you, Mr. President. It's such an honor, and congratulations on an epic 100 days. I do have to thank Elon. I do want to note, we just cut $3 billion in contracts because of Doge's work. That's $3 billion that hardworking families that won't have to work until April 15th to pay for the waste, fraud, and abuse that we continue to find in this government on behalf of taxpayers. So again, thank you, Elon, as
Thanks,
well.
Kelly.
Thank you.
Great job, Kelly. Thank you very much. Elon, I love the double hat, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
He's the only one that can do that. You don't get away with it.
Well, Mr. President, they say I wear a lot of hats. And as you can see, it's true. Even my hat has a hat.
Elon's got his own piece. Would you look at that? You only get the back of his head. That's hilarious.
The American people voted for secure borders, safe cities, and sensible spending. And that's what they've gotten. A tremendous amount has been accomplished in the first 100 days. As everyone has said, it's more than has been accomplished in any administration before, ever, period. This portends very well for what will happen for the rest of the administration. I think this could be the greatest administration since the founding of the country.
Hearing him say that, and then
You really
It's
have
crazy.
sacrificed a lot. Been treated very unfairly.
Well, they do like to rent my cars, which is not great. Could be better.
shots.
But you have been treated unfairly, but the vast majority of people in this country really respect and appreciate you, and this whole room can say that very strongly. You've really been a tremendous help. You opened up a lot of eyes as to what could be done, and we just want to thank you very much. And you're invited to stay as long as you want.
Doctor
At some
says
point,
Elon's
if
slopping
he
all
wants to
over it.
come
It
back
does
home
seem
to
like it in
us,
this, doesn't it? Look at Elon's head.
You've done an incredible job. $150 billion. Think of this.
Yeah. 160 now.
Whoever their cameraman is we're about to fight if he keeps changing this angle.
And And a lot of stuff is being worked on. That number could be doubled and even tripled. A lot of things are being worked on that we don't capture.
What's good, everyone? Just now
It's not
getting
quite
in.
there, but you've done a fantastic
We're in cabinet
job.
meeting cleanup
Appreciate it
today.
very much, Elon. You know
Thank
that.
you. And it's also an honor to work with your incredible cabinet. I just like to say thank you, everyone, for it's great to work with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr.
Elsie?
President, congratulations on this truly historic first 100 days of your administration, really only made possible by your focused leadership on delivering the mandate the American people gave you. You've empowered all of us to deliver that mandate, and I'm grateful to have the privilege of leading the intelligence community towards ending the weaponization, politicization of the intelligence community that's gone on for far too long. And building out what is truly a lean and agile and effective intelligence community that is helping you deliver that promise to the American people of safety, security, and freedom. So, Mr. President, I'd like to highlight just 3 of the areas where we are helping to support your leadership and your work in making America safe again.
Yo,
and bringing
Dip It,
about
thank
these
you for the sub
changes.
on YouTube. Welcome in.
First of all, because of your designation of cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, I took immediate action with our National Counterterrorism Center to prioritize their focus on those terrorists and gang members who are trying to enter our country through legal or illegal means, and to seek out those who already are here in our country because of the Biden administration's 4 years of open borders. We've been working very closely with your great Attorney General's team at the DEA to get these known cartels into our systems, to be able to stop them at the border, and turning over names to Department of Homeland Security and the FBI to be able to find those who are already here in our country. Just the other day, we found 700 alien terrorists who have ties
Which
to
I don't know if you guys
MS-13,
saw, but there was a
Trinidad,
judge that
and the
ruled on
Sinaloa cartel.
Trump's
Just
administration
yesterday,
stopping
our
the ICE
NCTC
raids
identified
after what
almost
happened.
600 individuals with ties to other terrorists who came through our borders illegally, claimed asylum, and under the Biden administration were paroled here within our borders. Secondly, Mr. President, like too many organizations in the federal government, the ODNI has become very bloated with too much waste and abuse going on within the organization. We've done a few immediate steps. We are doing more. The ODNI is 25% smaller and more lean today than it was when I walked in the door and when you took office. Secondly, we have just this morning actually shut down a human capital office. As soon as you issued the executive order to stop all DEI activities, we did that, shut down the DEI office. But we discovered this human capital office that was essentially a slush fund for DEI initiatives, hidden under the guise of human capital, that closed down this morning, saving taxpayers $150 million. We'll soon be announcing an additional $2.6 billion in savings with other programs and contracts that do nothing to ensure our national security interests. And lastly, we're working every day to hold the deep state accountable, to end the politicization, weaponization of the intelligence community. This past week, I sent 3 criminal referrals for illegal and unauthorized leaks to the media of classified intelligence for prosecution. We have 11 more that are under investigation. We've revoked, at your direction, 67 security clearances, and we continue the work of declassifying documents, as we have already.
Not all of them.
around, JFK assassination. We have more coming for the assassination.
I mean, that one was
of,
cool.
Bobby's father, Senator Kennedy, and MLK assassination. And we continue our extensive investigations around exposing the very serious issues we have related to election integrity, illegal abuses of FISA, Crossfire Hurricane,
Oh, man.
and others.
Who
Mr.
let
President,
Diddy
under
back in
your
my chat?
leadership, we are working every day to
How did
bring
you
about
find
the
me again?
transparency and accountability that the American people deserve. So thank you for the opportunity.
Great job. Thank you very much. Lee?
Mr. President, at the Biden EPA, the Green New Deal was raging. At the Biden EPA, we saw billions of
Swear.
tax dollars burning. At the Biden EPA, we saw industries suffocate.
Okay.
But at the Trump EPA, the Green New Deal
There's
is
his
dead.
point.
At the
Impeachment pie.
Trump EPA, we know that we can both protect the environment and grow the economy. I have 13 pages of accomplishments from our first 100 days in here, and in it, part of it is 100 environmental accomplishments at the Trump EPA. You don't have to take my word for it. We released it to the media this morning. Every single day that President Trump is in this office, there will be a major environmental accomplishment every single day of the Trump
Every day?
administration. At the Trump EPA,
Every day's
we're
tough.
also launching what is the largest deregulatory action in the history of the country. We're going to be giving our director of the OMB a whole lot of work because we inherited a big mess from the Biden EPA.
Jay,
Working
thank you
with
for the
Elon
sub on
and
YouTube,
Doge.
my man. Welcome in.
I've canceled now $22 billion worth of grants. Now today is a special day for many reasons. The biggest reason why we're here is that this is the 100th day of the most consequential, historic first 100 days in the history of this country. California set their own standards. But there should be one national standard, and right now Congress on the House side is going to be voting on that today. On a personal note, while this is a bit outside of the EPA jurisdiction, today is my last day serving in the United States Army. And I first signed up towards the end of the night.
Nicholas, you say
And I've had
subbed and you
chance
didn't
to
get a
see lot
shout
of
out.
national
The
security
thing
teams
doesn't catch
over the
everybody,
course
so
of the last 20,
I'm sorry. It
7
only
years.
lets me know about the chosen ones.
There has never been a national security team ever assembled that had the backs of our warriors like this national security team right now. And we have never had a president so deeply committed towards ending foreign wars instead of starting new ones. There's a reason, Mr. Vice President, why everyone is racing to join our Department of Defense. We have a Secretary of Defense who, with all due respect to our great president, would probably rather be swimming with Navy SEALs right now, be running somewhere in the Middle East with our service members. And from our Secretary of Defense to our Secretary of State, our Vice President, and more. I just want to say thank you as a veteran of our military for assembling what is the greatest national security team that I have ever seen in my 27 years associated with the United States Army.
Has Pete signed off on this retirement league? Welcome to the VA league.
Is that Robert F. Kennedy?
Thank you for your service.
You're doing a fantastic job. We appreciate it very much.
Yo, I'm Ian
So-
and William. Thank you
Well,
for the
Mr.
sub on
President,
YouTube. Welcome
I
in.
don't think I have ever worked so hard to try to fire myself. But we're certainly making great strides in that. We've reduced,
Linda McCahan.
the
Let's see who
folks
this is.
over at the Department of Education by about 50% now through our RIF program, and so we've closed a lot of the district offices, consolidated, so there are a lot fewer people working a lot more efficiently in the Department of Education. The commissioners of education in every state, and I was at a meeting with them not too long ago for not only our states but our territories. They are thrilled with the opportunity now to be able to have more control over the education in their states, to get rid of a lot of the red tape and regulation that's kept them from doing what they're doing. So we're seeing, I think, great improvements. We'll see test scores, I believe. It'll take a bit for them to be able to go up, but I think now that they're going to have the opportunity to put in their own programs, we'll see that grow. At the same time, we've been focused on higher education for our universities. We've returned proper enforcement of Title IX protections to schools. We have stopped funding to Columbia, for instance, and some other schools for not only Title IX but Title VI infractions. And those are moving along. I think we've brought people to the table. They know that you're
This is the
serious.
Secretary of
You meant what
Education.
you said. They're going to make changes. They're making their campuses safer again. Anti-Semitism was just out of control in many of our universities. And so some tried to, in fact, Harvard is sued, and they're saying that it's, First Amendment infraction. No, this is civil rights, safety on our campuses for our young students, who are there. And with Pam's help and the task force that we formed with HHS, with GSA, with other agencies, we're going to make sure that our campuses are safe. And so there's a lot of good work going on. I think one of the biggest things, you'll be very happy to hear this, Mr. Vogt, that we are putting back into place collecting on our student loans that have been delinquent since March of 2020. been no effort to recollect on this loan. So as of May 5th, the letter goes out that the loan recollection is beginning again. So for those people who have borrowed money and have not been paying, and that's just not to be punitive. There are many ways that they can go online to understand how they can get back into the right payment structure, because when they're in default, they can't buy a house, they can't buy a car because their credit scores are down. So it's helpful to them as well as to get this money back into the country. I mean, with $60 billion of increased student loan debt since 2020. And in total, we've got almost $1.7 trillion in student
John says,
debt.
remember,
So
Trump loves the
we're gonna
uneducated.
start getting it back. And Scott and his team have been incredibly helpful. We appreciate that so very, very much. And so a lot's going on at the department. And what I would really like, as I'm firing myself, I'd like for you to be known as the education president, because of the best in practice systems that we want to put in every state to incorporate AI. So
Chat,
that
let me show you
are
what
training
we're
these
burning
new
on today.
entrepreneurs and business leaders.
I
in
don't know
our
how well
country.
it's gonna
We can't do it
focus.
with the infrastructure we have in place today. So you have to be
Rolling up with
working
me,
on that
guys.
At the same time.
We all
so
need
we're
it.
going to be doing that.
We
So
all need
thank
it.
you for your charge to elevate education so that we are providing for every student.
Oh, Tiffany, thank you
access
for the sub
to
on
excellent
YouTube. Welcome in.
education. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Linda. And what's going on with
Chat,
all
I see what you guys are
these
saying.
colleges
Yeah,
that
even
are
the
taking
zesty ones.
vast
You guys are
amounts of
crazy.
money, who also have vast amounts. They've got $52 billion and really scamming the public and hiring people like de Blasio and Lori Lightfoot, who are certainly two of the worst mayors in the history of our country, paying them a fortune of salary and having them teach our children how to manage cities and how to manage government. What's the word as of this morning on, let's say, Harvard?
Well, we're negotiating with them. We'll go back to them to say we'd welcome
Yo,
them back to the
Kunal,
negotiating
thank you for
table.
the
They're
sub on
responding to the
YouTube. Welcome
lawsuit.
in.
So,
Guys, we have a super
Pam
chat
and her
goal of
team are
5.
helping-
Super
helping
easy
work
to
with
beat.
that.
And
I
it
am,
reads them all out loud. It's
in
great.
fact, not only
Say
am I
whatever you
firing
want.
myself, but I'm now being sued fairly regularly by.
So is everyone in the Trump administration?
But we're staying tough with them. The other thing that we're looking at also are the 117 violations of
Everyone
these
in
big
chat calling her a
universities
witch
like
is
Harvard and
hilarious.
others who are not reporting as they're required to do by law foreign money that comes in and how much that is and where it comes from. And so that is a
And
very
students.
yeah, and it's very
Where are
serious.
these people coming from?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
sir, we pulled
Where
back
are
the
the
grants
students
because
coming
Harvard
from?
isn't responding
Why is that
to
a
us for
question?
activity by their students, and until they give us that list, they're not getting any more
What?
grants from Homeland
Good.
Security.
I think we should pull it back.
We did.
The students they have, the professors they have, the attitude they have.
If they change
is
the
not
camera angle
correct,
one more
and,
fucking time.
I think you should. A grant is a grant. We don't have to give grants.
Exactly right.
So we'll pull back the grant. All right. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bobby?
Mr. President, thank you for your extraordinary leadership. Over the past 100 days, we are already making
Whoa.
America healthy again. We announced last week the ban on the 9 petroleum-based synthetic dyes, food dyes.
Come on, pick your angle, bro.
Within 2 years,
There we go.
within 2 months, we're going to ban the worst 2 of them. I am working with Secretary Rollins
Yo,
on
Sachin.
dietary guidelines, the dietary
I butchered that.
guidelines
Thank
that
you,
Trump-
Sasha
that
Chan. Thank you for the
President
sub on
Biden's
YouTube.
administration
Welcome in.
gave us. 453 pages. They're basically unreadable. And they are the product of the same kind of politicized science that drove Fruit Loops to the top of the food pyramid.
What?
And
The fuck?
we're going to do real science, gold standard science. We're going to develop we have till December to do it, but we are working very, very fast together. We're going to get it done by the end of the summer in time to drive change, major dramatic changes in the school food, the school lunch programs over the next
Yo,
next school year.
Mayra, thank you for the sub on
I'm
YouTube.
working
Welcome in.
also with Secretary Rollins on the SNAP program and the to get
Trying to roll this
sodas
before the Rillo dries out.
and
keep moving
candy
camera
off the
angles
food
and-
stamp program. 10% of food stamps go to SNAP, And I want to thank you for your courage. You are a business-friendly president, probably the most business-friendly in our history, but you're also willing to stand up to very, very powerful businesses.
Guys,
You've
the
shown
sub
that
doesn't
again
catch
and again.
everybody if too many people
Secretary
sub at
Rowland
once.
had
But if you
the
super
soda
chat, it'll catch you
industry
every
come
time.
Knock on her door very much, very loudly, and they said to her, well, the SNAP program is not supposed to be about nutrition. She pointed out to them,
P.S.
there
Thank you
is
for the
no
sub on
nutrition
YouTube. Welcome in.
in a soda. And they said, well, it's not supposed to be about nutrition. And she said to them, the name of the program is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. So it is about nutrition. And we shouldn't, we have 38% of our kids are diabetic or pre-diabetic. And
38%?
we are paying at both ends. We're
That's
paying
crazy.
for
All right,
the
she's all done.
the food-like substances that make them diabetic, and then we're being bankrupt. We're spending $1 trillion a year on metabolic dysfunction.
Yo, his portion's
It's existential.
insane. What
It's not
what is he the
sustainable.
secretary of?
We have, I visited Arizona, West Virginia, Utah, and Indiana in the last 2 weeks, who have all applied for SNAP
Chat, be
waivers.
nice.
We're encouraging, thanks to
Spark it? I'm sparking it. Hold on, y'all.
Ronald's leadership, all the states to apply for those waivers. I also visited Utah, which is the first state to ban supplemental fluoride. Florida yesterday passed a bill to ban supplemental fluoride. I'm confident Governor DeSantis is going to sign that. We are working, Lisa and I are working together to change the federal fluoride regulations, to change the recommendations.
All right, everybody,
We're looking
spark
at the
up.
science
You're
now.
racing me.
I
Go.
want to point out that in August, the National Toxicity Program, which was an arm of the NIH,
Barry,
did a meta-review of all
Mark,
the science on
Motor.
fluoride and found that there's a
Thank you,
direct
3, for the
inverse
sub on
correlation
YouTube. You're my new
between
pit crew.
fluoride
Whenever I need a
exposure
car
and
tire
low-IQ
exchange.
children. So the more you get, the stupider you are. And we need smart kids in this country, and we need healthy kids. And thank you for your leadership. We're going to get there. We're reviewing the GRAS standards now we're revamping them to get 10,000.
Chat, this is my
ingredients
second
that
blunt,
are
so
in our
do not
food.
expect me to
Europeans
understand
only have
anything they're
400.
saying
We have
after this is
10,000.
gone.
There are chemicals we know nothing about, and we are going to stop that process, and then we're going to go back and look at these chemicals and make the companies either get rid of them or to label them. We've launched Operation Stork Speed, and we're going full speed ahead to make sure that we have good, high quality milk for children. We have launched the autism study at your direction. By September, we'll have some of the first answers. Within 6 months of that, we will have definitive answers, not only for autism, but for the etiology of a whole range of autoimmune diseases that have become epidemic in our children. We have ended HHS.
Oh, Squirrely, they took your
role
number-
as the vector,
Number 3 away.
the principal vector in this country for child trafficking. And during the Biden administration, HHS became a collaborator.
Oh, Jay, you're finna blast
in
off
child
then.
trafficking and for
Glenn,
sex
Dawn,
and
and
for,
June. Thank you for the
for
subs on
slavery.
YouTube.
And we have ended that.
Welcome
and
in.
We're very aggressively going
You're
out
my
and
cleaning
trying
crew.
to find these children, the 300,000 children that were lost by the Biden administration. And we have ended funding for gender mutilation, surgeries, and other kind of gender dysphoria practices. And thanks to Elon, we have saved $67 billion at our
So we're
agency
thanking
without
Elon?
compromising
Okay.
any of our critical programs. Mr. President, I want to thank you for your vision, for your leadership, for giving me the 100 busiest days of my life, and most exciting and most rewarding. And there's over the next 100 days, we're going to do.
Roy, are you talking about Pennywise?
Thank you very much, Barry. Very good, very important.
What are you talking about?
Thank you. Doug, please.
All right, Doug.
Well, President Trump, on your first day in office, you wisely declared a national energy emergency. And this was essential because it was the signal that we're going to go 180 degrees from the disastrous and dangerous Biden policies that were based on a climate ideology that was the root cause of the inflation in this country. It was the root cause of wars abroad. It was the root cause of our manufacturing disappearing from our country. We can't have energy security. Without energy security, we can't
Gary,
have national security.
Diana,
You understood
and
that.
Kark,
But now with,
and
everything that's
Peacekeeper,
flowed
thank you for
from
the
that,
subs on YouTube.
Dozens of other
You guys
EOs
are
that
my
we've done.
soldiers of defense.
America is back in the energy business. As Chris said, there's been a signal that's sent around the world. Capital is flowing, coming back in. The smart money is coming to this country. And now you've given us a chance to win the AI arms race against China. We know we're up against a formidable competitor. China opened up 94 gigawatts of coal in the last year. That's more than all of California and all of New York combined in the last year. We've had presidents in the past, the Biden administration, that were running away again under this climate ideology. You've embraced baseload power in this country.
You, Leono,
I'll never
thank you for
forget
the sub on
standing in the East
YouTube.
Room
You're the
with
court
you,
jester.
surrounded by the coal miners around this country, where you said, "Hey, big beautiful coal." As we work to try to identify the balance sheet of America, our earliest estimate is that
Cannabis
the
cheers.
coal resources in America,
If you're
just on
racing me,
public lands, could
I'm
be
almost
worth
to halfway,
$8
so.
trillion with a T. That was all going to be taken off our balance sheet if we weren't going to touch it. But now we're back in the business. I was 1,800 feet underground in a coal mine in Alabama a couple weeks ago. They do
What a strange place to find yourself.
Without metallurgical coal, we can't produce steel. This is a plant. This is a plant that would have been in a mining operation that would have been shut down under the Biden administration. What we're doing here, back in the business, we're doing.
Craig,
leasing.
thank you for the
We're
sub
leasing
on
for oil and gas.
YouTube.
We're leasing
You're
for
the
timber
you're the
with
sewer
roads.
guard.
We're leasing for grazing. We're leasing for critical minerals, which is key. And when we lease the public lands appropriately and by the law to do that, we're bringing in revenue. We're bringing in jobs. We're helping strengthen America. And so we're treating our natural resources like the American balance sheet they are. And America's resources,
You guys see I'm
700
building a
million
kingdom
acres
out of
of
my
surface that's
subscribers.
public,
Everyone has a job when you come in
700
here.
million of subsurface, the 2.5
Everyone has a
billion
job.
offshore, all contain what we need to have self-sufficient supply chains. And so in this, we're focused deeply on critical minerals. The Biden administration put us in a real predicament right now. The whole trade team, the whole cabinet, Susie's jumping in, leadership across everybody, the National Energy Dominance Council. But of the top 20 critical and rare earth minerals that we need for defense, that we need for industry, China's controlling 85% of the refining.
Purple Crown is,
So
that just
we
means
are
that you're a top
running
chatter,
warp speed
like
7
you've
days
chatted
a
the
week,
most.
to try to put ourselves
If
back in
anyone
business
super
that way.
chats, your name will
So,
pop up
and I
above
wanna just
everyone
close out
else's.
by saying a couple other
Purple
things.
Crown doesn't
One
mean
is,
you've donated.
Is the border. Few people realize that 41% of the southern border is in Department of Interior. Then we've got a few more percent that come with Brook and with the Forest Service. But that's been a risk area. Part of the reason everyone's pouring into our country, Biden wasn't enforcing the border laws. They definitely weren't enforcing it on public lands. And so again, using tying two presidents that had a great propensity for action, Theodore Roosevelt in 1907 created what was called the Roosevelt Reservation, 60-foot strip that goes from
Chatty
Texas
Cathy.
all the way to the Pacific Ocean, because he was worried in some future state there might
Follow
be
it,
smuggling.
sends in number one. You know what I'm
Human
saying?
smuggling
I've seen his
and
name pop
fentanyl
up every
trafficking.
5 seconds
But
for the
that
last 30
is
minutes.
largely unused. He gave us the authority to transfer that. And so
Guys,
we're
we
working
do have
with
a super
Christie,
chat
working
goal
with
of
Pete.
5. Let's see
We've
if we can beat
transferred
that today.
to the DOD. So transferring land from
It'll read
the
your
other
message
agencies
out
like Interior
on
to the
stream.
Department of Defense.
TTS,
And
baby.
as Pete said, they can do the detain and assist with the military. And having been down at the border multiple times in recent week, I can confirm everything Christie said. The enthusiasm, the morale of that group is exactly 100% opposite of when Christie and I were down there as governors. I had Border Patrol people say that they were multi-generational service in that law enforcement that said, my wife and I are telling our children never to go into this thing, to go into Border Patrol. People this time were saying, I got a 17-year-old. As soon as they turn 18-year-old, they're signing up. My wife is thrilled. They're going into law enforcement. They're so proud to be serving with you. Everybody I've met, whether
pretty
it's
early.
at the coal mine or at the border.
That's like going right to the government or right to the military. Amber, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome in. And Craig, I don't remember if I said you or not. Welcome in.
When we last week renamed U.S. Wildlife Refuge in honor of Jocelyn Nungare. Jocelyn Nungare, of course, lost her life tragically to illegal Venezuelan gang members in this country in a horrific way. But her mother, Alexis, was at that ceremony. Her grandmother was there, and Jocelyn's great-grandmother was there. There 3 other generations of that family were there. They all wanted to pass on their thank you to you too, and we've secured her name forever as a sanctuary, and really is saying that every child, every 12-year-old, every child in America should be safe in their own communities, and you've dedicated a beautiful piece on the coast in honor of her. So, President Trump, in your first term, when I had a chance to work with you as governor, you were courageous. The thing that's empowering this amazing group of people around this table, and you've probably assembled the greatest cabinet ever, is that this time you're not just courageous, you're actually fearless. And it's your fearlessness to take on the issues that other presidents would not touch, whether it's the work that we're doing with successfully streamlining and right-sizing government, or whether it's taking on the issues at the border, or whether it's embracing the power we need to win the arms race. You're fearlessly doing that, and that creates and just all of us can sprint because you're running ahead. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Doug. And you are doing a great job. And with Chris, that's a pretty much unbeatable combination, I have to tell you. So thank you both very much. Thank you, Doug. It's great. Marco?
All right,
Well,
last
it's not easy to
guy.
go last.
We went all the way around
All
the
these
table.
reports that have come here. First of all, it's Mr. So I better be good, and I'll be short as well. A couple things, Mr. President. I think you deserve a lot of credit for 2 things. The first is assembling this great team of people. Some of whom I've known for a long time, others who I've gotten to know during this period of time, but putting together a team, not just of talented individuals, but that work well together, is something never going to be reported on in the media or fully seen, but it happens every single day. For the most part, I interact with almost everyone.
Yes, and
around
you're on
this
the right
table to
track.
some-
Super chat if
at
you
some
want a
level.
Gulf of America hat.
And because of Secretary Kennedy, I'm afraid to eat anything. So in front of him, yeah. He said Tootsie Rolls are okay in moderation. So. But it's a great team. And here's the second, and I tell this to people all the time. This is incredibly rewarding service, and you hear it in everyone's voices. Traditionally, in the past, and it's one of the problems we got in as a country, is presidents would say, okay, let's go do something, and then they would have to do a study, and then a study on the study, and then a long internal deliberative process, and by the time you got to it, it was too late. Or
This
somebody
guy
had
knows
forgotten it.
wordplay.
In this administration,
It's like he's
moving.
reading the
You know
script
the
out of his
direction 'cause you know
brain.
why you were elected. The American people elected you very clearly, and
With
basically
slight
it's measured-
inflection.
I used to say by days and weeks. Now it's measured by hours and minutes. But action is happening. And that's what people want to see. And I'm going to talk about foreign
Oh
policy
shit, my hair's on
because I'm
fire.
sure this is fully appreciated.
Ray, thank you for the sub
We
on
have-
YouTube. Welcome
this
in.
president inherited 30 years of foreign policy that was built around what was good for the world. In essence, the decisions we made as a government in trade,
Gotta
in
be
foreign
careful of
policy
that.
was basically, is it good for the world? Is it good for the global community? And under President Trump, we're making a foreign policy now that's, was it good for America? I was appointed by you and confirmed by the Senate to be the head of the United States Department of State. Not the World Department of State, not the Global Department of State, the United States Department of State. And what that means is our foreign policy is guided by 3 things. Does it make America stronger?
Chat, you're fucking hilarious
Does it
right
make
now.
America safer? And does it make America richer? If something doesn't do one of those 3 things, and hopefully all 3 of those things, we're not doing it. Now, we went out and hired a consulting firm to help us organize ourselves. Luckily, they were free. They're called the Department of Government Efficiency. And they helped us do a couple things. Number one is our foreign aid. We were funding some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. You tell me, how does a puppet show in some country around the world make us stronger, safer, and more prosperous? So we got rid of puppet shows and a bunch of other things. I'm sure there were very good puppet shows. And I'm sure that a bunch of charities in the world can go pay for it, but the American taxpayer should not. We've also, by the way, Mr. President, under your direction, reorganized the Department of State. We had offices within offices within offices that didn't even know they existed themselves, not to mention the rest of. And so we've begun to reorganize that as a
I
way
can believe it.
to be able to empower our embassies and our ambassadors and our regional bureaus to do what many of them signed up to do. We have a great team of ambassadors you've appointed. They're coming online every single day. Very talented people that are involved. Something else we got out of the business of wasn't widely reported.
All right, Chad, I'm almost done with mine. If you haven't finished smoking yet, you did not beat me in the race.
Whose job it was to censor Americans. And by the way, I'm not going to say who it is. I'll leave it up to them. There's at least one person at this table today who had a dossier in that building of social media posts to identify them as purveyors of disinformation. We have these dossiers. We are going to be turning those over to these individuals. We can
you follow up with the media?
Well, we are going to turn over these dossiers to the individuals, and they'll decide
Turn
whether
it
they
up a
want to
little bit.
disclose it or not. But just think about the Department of State of the United States had set up an office to monitor the social media posts and commentary of American citizens to identify them as vectors of disinformation, when we know that the best way to combat disinformation is freedom of speech and transparency. And so that's what we're going to be in the business of doing. We're not going to have an office that does that. Beyond that, Mr. President, and this I'll move quickly because this has been a team effort, we have gone to countries all over the world and said, hey, you want good relations with the United States, you need to take back your people that are here illegally. And we've had historic cooperation. Beyond that, and I say this unapologetically, we are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are actively, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better.
What do
so
we
they
think
can't
about
come back
that?
across the border. I'm not
Trump's
apologetic
face.
about it. We are doing that.
Is he awake?
The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child
50%
rapists
of the
out of our
time.
country. Here's something else. we've
Ooh,
done.
I know that
We
exact
stopped
phrase
giving
is gonna
student
light
visas
chat
to
up.
People who are coming here to burn down our universities and take over.
He sounded like my
libraries
chat
and
there for a
harass
second.
people. Why are we giving student visas to people who are coming here to create disruption? And we've taken away the student visas of people that are come here to do that. It's simple. If you're coming to America to start riots, we're not going to give you, we're going to take away your student visa. And by the way, every country in the world that I've traveled, 14 countries in 14 weeks, you know what they all say to me? Yes, that's what we would do too. So the only people who seem to disagree with us are a handful of federal judges and a bunch of crazy people who get paid to write.
Which
and
the federal
report.
a federal
So
judge
anyway,
did
we're getting
rule
rid of that.
on
The last, but
ICE's
now,
involvement
here's
with
the good
Trump's
news.
administration. If you haven't seen
you
that,
know,
look
we're
it
gonna
up.
have the
It
World
happened
Cup,
today, guys.
The FIFA World Cup.
After the stream, though.
FIFA
Look it up
Club
after
Cup,
the stream.
And then we're going to have the Olympics. So we have to have a consular affairs bureau. We have very good, talented people there, but we are going to infuse technology, again, working with our consultants, to be able to, millions of people are coming into this country for this. And, but I also, we've done it to improve customer service. For some of us who served in Congress recognize that about a year and a half ago, we had a meltdown under Biden. You couldn't get a passport. You have people calling, I have a cruise on Friday, my passport expires. In the month of March, we processed 2.78 million Americans, their passports. That is the historic, never.
So we're getting the Americans out of here?
Processing of passports ever. And we think it's a good way to build the momentum to be able to do the visas. Two last points I want to make. We have a great team that you've built. I want to especially acknowledge Steve Woodcoff. This is a person that doesn't have to be doing what he's doing. He has a very good life in Miami, my hometown as well. He has worked incredibly hard, has done it without any agenda, and we need to acknowledge him. I want to acknowledge Mr. Bulos as well.
Jason said this chat is like MSNBC versus Fox. So correct.
The Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yo,
and
Cho,
Rwanda
thank you for the
and
sub on
It can
YouTube.
never
Welcome
happen.
in.
It will never happen. I sent Mr. Bulos, your envoy. A week later, I look on my schedule, the signing of a declaration of peace between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. We signed it at the State Department last week. We hope it will lead now to a lasting, permanent peace that we hope to invite them back to Washington to sign. So two great, and we have a lot of good people working on our teams as well, but these are two great people. Mike Waltz alluded to this earlier, and this is the last point. In the first 100 days of the 47th presidency, 47 wrongfully detained Americans have been returned to the United States, thanks to your leadership and the diplomacy that was exercised to make that happen. 47.
That wasn't Fousey, was it?
President in the first 100 days, and that's all credit to you, Mr. President. Thank you for the
Yo,
honor to be
Michael,
able to
thank you for the
serve
sub on YouTube.
alongside
Welcome
you,
in.
For you, and alongside all these excellent people.
No, thank you very much, Marco.
Oh, is XRP going up, John?
So, you know, I've been involved in a lot of groups of people over the years. Good groups, bad groups.
All right, back to
all
Trump.
types of groups. But I have been involved in some incredible groups, but I've never been more proud and impressed, frankly. Impressed is maybe even more important. But I've never been more proud or impressed than I am with this group. This is an amazing group of people. And I hope some of those television cameras were blazing and it was on so people could watch this because, frankly, you know, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, this is an impressive group of people. I sat around being somewhat competitive. I said, well, let's see, who did the best job, who did the worst job? And I determined that everybody is like the same, and there was no worst job. Everybody was outstanding. Everybody did a job. You couldn't pick a winner. The only thing you can say is nobody did
Your
a bad
correct
job or
trend.
even a fair job.
If you haven't seen it, guys,
You're outstanding.
they did
And so I wanna
order
just,
ice and Trump out of Cali.
congratulate you all. This is really something. And you know, we have a job to do. We've done a lot of work in this 100 days. We've established things that are going to start taking place in the next 100 days. I want to see what it's going to be like. I think we're going to have to do this in 100 days, Susie, and we're going to see some very big results from the things that we've done. But
Cody
I
said
just
my
wanna
boy
thank
looks high as
everybody.
hell.
This
We've
is really
smoked
very
two already.
impressive, and I hope the people at home got to see some of it.
Chat keeps
Nobody's
making me
ever done
smoke.
public cabinet meetings. They were quiet for a reason, because they weren't impressive, and especially in the last administration, they were not impressive. But I just want to say that we're very proud of you, and I am in particular. And thank you all very much. Great job, and I think we're going to have some tremendous success for our country. And I don't know, it doesn't seem like a time to be asking questions. That was so impressive, that to be taking questions. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be appropriate. I guess we probably
Ital
have to take a
and
couple
Knowledge.
because,
Thank you for the sub on
that
YouTube.
was the
Welcome in.
purpose. But, if
Guys,
you'd
we got
like
about
to ask
20
some,
minutes
I
left
think
in
they
our
should be
goal
very
of 5
respectful
super chats.
questions at
Let's
this
meet
point.
that
This
shit.
was
Let's get it.
an amazing meeting. And so if you'd like to ask a couple, if you'd like to pinpoint them to some of the secretaries, et cetera,
Yes,
would be fine. Yes.
Secretary Rubio, can I ask you a question? You brought up El Salvador in your remarks. Have you been in touch with El Salvador about returning Abrego Garcia as a formal request from this administration to me?
Well, I would never tell you that. And you know who else I'll never tell? A
That's
judge.
hilarious.
The conduct of our foreign policy belongs to the President of the United States and the executive branch, not some
Yo,
judge.
he's quick
So
with
we
it,
will
I'm
conduct
telling
foreign
you.
policy appropriately.
Look at him.
If we need to. But I'll never discuss it. And no one will ever make us discuss it, because that's how foreign policy works.
Mr. President, yesterday you told ABC News, Mr. President, you told ABC News yesterday that you could get Abrego Garcia back if you wanted to. Do you think President Bukele would turn you down if you made that request?
I really don't know. I know that he's been a great friend of our country. He's gotten a lot less money than this would take from us if we were going to build these jails and do what he's doing. And they run a very professional operation. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him. I really leave that to the lawyers, and I take my advice from Pam and everybody that is very much involved. They know the laws, and we follow the laws exactly.
Mr. President.
Yeah, please.
Transition, sir. You frequently took credit for the stock market highs. You said it was a reflection of how well you were doing in the polls, and then after you were elected, you said the stock market.
These questions are all over the place.
How well the transition's going and the American people's confidence in your incoming administration. Now, the stock market's not doing so well, and you're saying that's the Biden stock market, yet you are the president. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I'm not taking credit or discredit for the stock market. I'm just saying that we inherited a mess, both at the borders. You could look at every single one of the people here, and no matter who it is, they're doing better, and they are far superior to what took place for 4 years before us. When you look at prisoners being allowed to come into our country at will.
Yo, Stacy
at
and
will.
PETA, thank you for the
People
sub
from
on
mental
YouTube. Welcome in.
institutions, gang members, drug dealers. When you look at that, what they've done to our country, and also having to do with finance. Look at what happened with inflation. We had the worst inflation probably in the history of our country. They say 48 years, but I would say in the history of our country, it ate away at people. And even though you saw a stock market going up somewhat, because in my case, I had the biggest stock market increase, 88% in the last term, in my last term. But I don't view the stock market as the end all. It's an indicator. But what the stock market really tells you, and when you look at the stock market in this case, is it says how bad a situation we inherited. I took place, this was a quarter that we looked at today, and we took all of us together. We came in on January 20th. So this is Biden, and you could even say the next quarter is sort of Biden, because it doesn't just happen on a daily or an hourly basis. But we're turning it around. It's a big ship to turn around, and we're going to have the greatest country financially in the history of the world, I believe. I think we're going to do things that, and we had to do it. We reset the table. Every single.
Why did they
country
mute that
with
part?
just about,
what did he say?
Without exception. I'd have to really think hard for who hasn't taken advantage. And I don't even blame those countries. I blame the person that was sitting right here where I am for allowing it to happen, where our country
Yo,
was
Grace,
ripped off on trade.
Pedro,
Hundreds
and
of
Ken,
billions of
and
dollars.
Cindy. Thank you for the
And
sub
now
on
we're doing better
YouTube.
than we've done
Welcome
in a
the
long
fuck
time.
in.
You know, we were losing $4 to $5 to even $6 billion a day on trade with Biden. And now we have it down to a very
We got about
manageable
15 minutes
number,
left in
and
that
the
goal,
tariffs,
guys.
for the
5
most
super
part, haven't
chats
even
this
kicked
stream.
in
Let's see if
yet.
we can hit it. I got
That's
TTS
the
on.
way,
Don't
stock
make me
markets
regret
to
it.
me are an indication, but the big indication is what's happening, and the people around the table know what's happening. Yes.
The minerals deal is set to be signed in 24 hours or
What,
so.
say it?
Is it true that the Ukraine minerals deal is about to be signed in the next 24 hours or so? There's some reports saying that. And if it's true, has the deal changed at all from the last time we heard about it?
Well, I'll ask Scott to answer the question because he's responsible for it.
Yeah, our side's ready to sign. Ukrainians decided last night to make some last-minute changes. We're sure that they will reconsider that.
Jared,
and
thank
we
you for
are
the
ready
sub
to
on
sign
YouTube.
this afternoon, if they are.
Welcome
Can
in,
you
my
talk
man.
about those last minute changes? What was removed or put in its place?
Nothing's been removed.
You guys are gonna
It's the
break my
same
alert box.
agreement that we agreed to on the weekend. No changes on our side.
Just to put that in perspective, though, when I came here, I said, how much money have we given to Ukraine? The real number is about $350 billion. It's unthinkable. And we had no security, we had no nothing. We were just pouring money there, unsecured money, putting it in banks, and anybody could have taken it out. You know, anybody over there, it was their decision. I've never seen anything like it. Europe, on the other hand, which is obviously that whole situation is much more important to Europe because we have an ocean in between. But Europe gave about $100 billion. It's a lot of money. It's a big sacrifice they made also. But they gave much less than we did. And their money is secured, totally secured, by deposits in banks. The deposits are largely Russian deposits. That's what Europe did, but their money is secured. So they gave $100 billion totally secured. We gave money like it's throwing it out the window. And it was done by Biden, and this is
DJ,
Biden's
thank you
war.
for the sub on
This is
YouTube, my
his
man.
war.
Welcome
I'm trying
in.
to get out, and more than the money, they're losing about 5,000 young Russian and Ukrainian soldiers a week, mostly. There's some people also being killed in towns where missiles should not have been shot.
We need to
Small
move away
cities
from the
and towns.
two-party system.
But we are
I have been studying
trying
up a
to
lot
save
on
the
some
lives
ideas
of
on
about
that.
5,000 young, mostly soldiers, that are losing their lives a week. I see satellite photos, probably off one of his satellites, come to think of it. But I see photos every week of fields with arms and heads and legs scattered all over. It's a violent, violent, horrible situation. And more important than the money, I want to say the lives of people from
Elvira,
other countries that are
King,
dying so
Ruby.
stupidly, so needlessly.
Thank you for the sub
And
on
they're
YouTube.
dying.
Welcome
I
in.
said, what are we doing? How did we get into this war? It would have never happened if I were president. Everybody knows, and it didn't happen for 4 years. Wasn't even thought of. I discussed it with President Putin a lot. Ukraine was the apple of his eye, but there was no way he was going to do anything. Zero chance. And I said, you know, we feel foolish. The Europeans are putting up money. It's totally secure. They get the money back. We're putting up much more money. We have absolutely nothing. And I didn't want to make a complicated deal. I didn't want to make a deal that couldn't be made because Ukraine doesn't have very much money. They're going through a very bad period of time. It's been brutal. But I felt very foolish being in charge. So I said, well, we want something for our efforts beyond what you would think would be acceptable. And we said rare earth. They have very good rare earth. As you know, we're looking for rare earth all the time. Rare earth is called rare for a reason. And they have a lot. And we made a deal where our money is secure, where we can start digging and doing what we have to do. It's also good for them because you'll have an American presence at the site, Chris. And the American presence will, I think, keep a lot of bad actors out of the country, or certainly out of the area where we're doing the digging. So we made a deal, and I assume they're going to honor the deal. I put Scott in charge, and Scott's done it beautifully, but we haven't really seen the fruits of that deal yet. I suspect we will.
Mr. President, sir, you had set a
90-day deadline during the executive order for secretaries Hegseth and Noem to review whether to recommend to you whether to invoke the Insurrection Act to send troops to the southern border. Is that something you're still considering?
I can't figure out who's talking. Who was asking that? I couldn't see
hard
him.
and fast, but I'm talking to them, and I will tell you that the border is the most secure it's ever been. We have never had anything like it. And when you said, Christy, before, it's 99.999, and I guess that means one person maybe, or two people. It's actually turned out to be 3 people came across the border versus hundreds of thousands of people under Biden. And we're talking about people coming. Look, people, they have souls, they have hearts. Many of them are good, but we have a country that's under siege. We have a country that really is I think it's under attack. In many ways, worse than under attack, because there are no uniforms. You don't know who the attacker is, so you really don't. It's not like you're fighting an army. You're fighting people, you don't even know who they are, but 11,888 murders.
Do soldiers ever know,
Many of them
like,
murdered,
who they're
far
fighting?
more than
You know,
one person
they know where they're
are
fighting.
roaming. Now,
They don't know the
some of them have
people.
already been caught. A lot of them have already been caught and taken out. But we're being impeded by judges from doing our job. And hopefully that situation's going to be solved, because I think nobody wants to have murderers and people from jail, and I mean for serious, serious crime. I remember the Biden people used to say, no, these are aliens that came into our country and they don't commit crime. I said,
We got 10 minutes left on our super chat goal, guys. Let's see if we can hit it today. We got 5.
They've allowed in
TTS is on.
policies. The dumbest thing I've ever
Issa
seen.
Miller, thank you for
can
the
look
sub
at
on
some of
YouTube.
these
Welcome
people
in.
and say, this is not going to end well. But the people that they've allowed into our country are making our criminals look like the nicest people on earth. I will tell you, these are serious criminals. These are violent criminals. These are people that would kill you and wouldn't lose an ounce of sleep, and they wake up the next morning and they don't even remember it. This is a rough,
He's
tough
telling the
group of
truth
people.
there.
And we've got to get them out of our country.
I know
And
some people like that.
The law says, I believe, I hope, and I think Pam will be very successful in proving it, but we've run into, I would call them rogue judges. Somebody could criticize me for that. These are rogue judges. These are radical left, generally radical left, horrible judges. And we didn't lose all of these people. You know, we've lost a lot of people to death and to rape, all sorts of crimes committed by the people that poured into our country. And they came in totally unimpeded. Just come on in. And you see it every night. You'd see thousands and tens of thousands of people pouring into our country. We have no idea who they are. And to this day, we're looking for people. We have no idea. We hear that we have terrorists in our country that are so bad, they couldn't stay in any other country, but we're getting them out. And the group between Pete and Christy and Tom Holman and everybody working together, the people that you would least suspect are reporting them, getting it, and the public is reporting them. The public is seeing. The public is calling and they're saying, you know, I live in a house and next to me moved in a group of people and they are very violent, and would go and would find out and would say, yeah, you're right, they were really violent, and we have information on most of them. So I just think it's incredible what's taken place. But we right now have a very, very secure border. Right now we have the most secure border in the history of our country, so I don't think we have to worry about your question too much.
Mr. President, as Prime Minister of Canada ran against, not only against the Conservatives, but also against you.
Well,
Yesterday,
both parties.
right, yeah, and yesterday he spoke about American betrayal. Are you interested in rebuilding relations with Canada, and if so, how?
No, well, I think we're going to have a great relationship. He called me up yesterday. He said, "Let's make a deal." You know, he was running for office. They both hated Trump, and it was the one that hated Trump, I think, the least that won. I actually think the conservative hated me much more than the so-called liberal. He's a pretty liberal guy.
Why do you think?
But no, I spoke to him yesterday. Couldn't have been nicer. And I congratulated him. You know, it was a very mixed signal because it's almost even, which makes it very complicated for the country. It was a pretty tight race. But he's a very nice gentleman, and he's going to come to the White House very shortly, within the next week or less.
Mr. President,
President,
when will you speak to President Xi of China? When will you
That'll
speak to
happen.
him?
I mean, look, right now, and I told you before, they're having tremendous difficulty because their factories are not doing business. They made $1 trillion with Biden, $1 trillion, even $1.1 trillion with Biden selling us stuff. Much of it we don't need. You know, somebody said, oh, the shelves are going to be open. Well, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know? And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally. But we're not talking about something that we have to go out of our way. They have ships that are loaded up with stuff, much of which, not all of it, but much of which we don't need. And we have to make a fair deal. We've been ripped off by every country in the world, but China, I would say, is the leading one, the leading candidate for the chief ripper offer. There has never been a country that's been ripped off more than the United States of America under some of the dumbest leadership, and it usually starts with the president. And you can go back, and I'm not just talking about Biden. It's been the worst. I mean, the trade deficits and everything else, he's been the worst. But he had no idea what he was
Paco,
doing.
thank you
And
for the sub on
I think
YouTube.
somebody ought to
Welcome
look
in.
at the auto pen to find out who was really running this country, because it wasn't Biden. Because nobody could agree to what he agreed to.
Mr. President, what's your message for the girl who doesn't
He
get
put our
the job?
country at risk, at tremendous risk, and fiscal risk, financial risk. So I think we have it very much. I really believe that the next 100 days is going to be even better than this. Look, I read an editorial yesterday from a group that normally wouldn't write a good, that this is the most consequential presidency in history, in the history of our country. This is not a particular group that would write that kind of an editorial, but they see what we're doing and what we had to do. And I believe if this group, not just me, if this group wasn't here, I think our country was going to be in, if it was lucky, just serious trouble, but a lot worse than that. I think our country could have been a total disaster. Bad things were happening with our country, and we've stemmed the tide, we've turned it around, but we're going to really turn it around over the next 3 years, 3.5 years, we're going to turn it around, and then hopefully it'll be in such great shape. That's my goal, to put it in such great condition that it can't be destroyed.
Do you believe you mentioned this last night in your speech in Macomb, that we're facing an unprecedented situation where there's a lot of abuses.
Yo, Roberta, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome in.
Sort of seemingly designed to curtail your power, specifically when it comes to deporting these illegal, violent aliens that came in under the previous administration. Have you spoken to your team about ways to mitigate this and continue to deliver for the American people?
Well, there are ways to mitigate it, and there's some very strong ways. There's one way that's been used by 3 very highly respected presidents, but we hope we don't have to go that route. But there is one way that has been used very successfully by 3 presidents, all highly respected, and hopefully we don't have to go that way. But there are ways of mitigating that. I want to thank you all very much. I thought this was an incredible cabinet meeting. I think there's probably has never been a cabinet meeting like this. You've never seen it on tape, that I can tell you. And I want to just congratulate everybody at the table, but we have a lot of work to do.
Looks like he's wrapping it up, chat.
Great start. Thank you very much,
Do
everybody.
you enjoy, Mr. President, maybe in the White House bag second time? How's your life here?
I'm working hard. I like
Trying to fit in like very
I like
last
it
second
because we're doing
questions.
a lot of good for a lot of people. Thank you very much.
All right, so that was the one that we had not finished. I think that there is, we have one more of the cabinet meetings we did not finish. This one was more recent. I saw a lot of people asking when this one was from. That was the April 30th cabinet meeting. This one is from a lot sooner. How much did we have left in this one?
It'll probably third parties.
About 30 minutes-ish.
I don't know about.
I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to finish this today? Amy, thank you for the sub on YouTube. And Brian, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome in.
We cut hundreds of billions of dollars.
Do you guys want to keep going? We might stretch over our normal update hour if we finish this one too.
It was something that we saved a lot of money. You can always second guess. I guess some of the people in this room maybe would have done it slightly differently, and some would have done it exactly the way it was done. but it was dramatic and it was important, and we found a lot of things like billions of dollars given to people for environmental
Douglas,
protection.
thank you for the
They had
sub on
$100
YouTube. Welcome
the
in.
account, like in Atlanta.
I'll tell you what, guys, if we meet our super chat
And then
goal
you
of
had another
5
one
in the
with
next
20 billion
2
here,
minutes and
20
40
billion
seconds,
here and 2 billion here,
we'll keep
and
going and we'll finish
15
this.
billion, and,
If not,
Lee,
we'll
you might
probably
wanna
end it for
mention
today.
Just a couple of those things we really got because of Doge.
At the
What's up, pup?
Trump EPA, the one big beautiful bill was filled with many big beautiful wins for the taxpayer. It delivered a sledgehammer to the Green New scam. Billions of dollars rescinded. It's a big deal for the American taxpayer who sees money go through pass-throughs that are filled with self-dealing and conflicts of interest. They see unqualified recipients. They see reduced agency oversight, and they want accountability with their tax dollars, and they got it. In the example of the Stacey Abrams connected NGO, they received $100 in 2023. They got $2 billion in 2024. They had to complete training on how to develop a budget that was put into their grant agreement. They, out of nowhere,
And I appreciate that,
started
Fried
paying
Chucky.
a CEO $800,000.
Appreciate everyone who was a part of those 150 likes this
22
stream.
people making over 150 grand. Out of nowhere, this is tax dollars. So money go through pass-throughs, through other pass-throughs, through other pass-throughs, and we lose oversight over it. And you see that it's going to former Biden officials, it's going to former Obama officials, it's going to Democratic donors. And we're not here saying we want to take money from a left-wing NGO and give it to a right-wing NGO. We want to give it back to the taxpayer. This is about us being good stewards of American tax dollars without any apology or regret. That's why President Trump was elected last November, because there are a whole lot of people who maybe they hadn't voted Republican in a long time. Maybe they didn't even vote for President Trump the first time around.
What's
in
up, guys? We got
2016, but they're
50
regretting
seconds
that
left in
vote
our super chat
in
goal.
2016, and
If
they
we
were
get
making
any
it right
super chats in the
2024.
next 50 seconds, we'll finish
So the
this
One Big
video out.
Beautiful Bill
If
gave
not,
us the
that's our
tools to
update hour
rescind
for the day.
billions of dollars more. We're seeing hundreds of thousands of dollars that'll get wasted per electric vehicle. As an example of this,
Eileen and Robert, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome
to a
in.
group called Climate Justice Alliance. They say that climate justice runs through a free Palestine. The Biden EPA gave $50 million to a group that says the climate justice runs through a free Palestine. We say that if you're going to spend $1 in the name of remediating an environmental issue, then spend $1 on remediating an environmental issue. We say that we can protect the environment and grow the economy. We want to help grow more baseload power in this country. So why is it that it took this long for this team to get assembled, to be able to fix the mess that we inherited? But gosh, we love showing up at our jobs every single day, first thing in the morning, because all day long we get things done for the American taxpayer. And Congress did its part last week by passing One Big Beautiful Bill to deliver this accountability and to cut off the Green New scam. So maybe it's a bad day for Stacey Abrams. Maybe it's a bad day for all those well-connected Democrats getting paid off. But you know what? God bless America. Because at the end of the day, President Trump is here, J.D. Vance is here, and the greatest cabinet ever assembled to deliver that much-needed and highly demanded accountability.
That was a very good.
Yeah, that dude was crap. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And that's from the heart.
Holy shit. And there it is, Miss Allie and Company with the biggest super chat I've ever gotten. Holy fuck, thank you for the 10. Yeah, you know what, just for you, we're gonna finish this one out. Just for you, we're gonna finish this one out. Everyone in chat, thank Miss Allie and Company for the rest of this coverage today.
Well, ask John maybe to discuss it if you'd like, John.
You are the MVP of the stream.
Well, Mr. President, obviously chemical weapons, if it's documented in its use, it's illegal. It's against all international laws of armed conflict and treaties. And obviously I can't share in this room with this audience the intelligence that I can share with you privately, but obviously you're not going to stand or allow for any violations of international law by anyone.
That's right. Thank you. Could I ask Sean to Department of Transportation, Sean Duffy, former great congressman, very popular.
Sean Duffy.
Decided to go out and make a couple of bucks. He made a lot.
What are we talking about Sean Duffy
Got
for?
bored with that though. He likes serving people better. The people. And could I
Richard said,
ask you
"Screw
to just
you, Miss
discuss
Ally."
a very important subject to me, and that's
No,
the
no.
modernization of our
Mods, get
equipment at
Richard for
airports
that.
so that planes aren't crashing into each other.
We're on Miss
and
Ally's side.
bad things don't happen. It should have been done many years ago. We were going to do it, and then the election precluded that, unfortunately. But we're doing it now. Could you tell them where we are?
Yeah, if I can start with Newark. You guys all covered what happened in Newark. We had outages for a couple of 30-second outages.
Miss Ally, you didn't even put a message.
We have,
text
in
to
2
speak is
months,
on.
Mr. President, it's
Guys, it
historic
reads out
speed,
your
3 new
message
fiber lines
if you
for
super chat with a
communication,
message in there.
and tested
Nobody's
those
used
in the next
text to
month.
speak
So
since I
those
put it
new
on.
lines in,
Y'all are crazy.
The Philly Tracon that controls the Newark airspace, they're up and running. Lightning fast speed. June was the most on-time June ever in the history of Newark for air travel. So that's going incredibly well. By the way, we shouldn't have dealt with this because Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg had moved the center from New York to Philadelphia. They didn't test the lines. They didn't do the work, which is what brought us all these problems. But in the big beautiful bill, we got
Yo,
$12.5
Chin
billion.
and Monica,
This
thank
is
you
a
for the sub on
historic
YouTube. Welcome in,
investment air
guys.
traffic control. And so what the money's gonna
Chat,
allow
should
us
I
to
open
do
up
is put,
calls from you guys
move from copper
for you to call
fiber
in and
all
debate
over
with
the
me on
country.
stream?
So new
Would
copper,
you guys enjoy
I think
that?
We can do that in a 1.5 to 2 years.
Open up a call line for you guys.
We have radar that dates back to the 1950s, some of it from the 60s.
I'd love to
and
hear some of your
70s.
opinions on stream one
We
day.
get brand new radar across the country as well. We have some infrastructure money to build TRACONs and centers, the en route centers that control the traffic across the country. So this is a massive new start to rebuild air traffic control. And again, this is dilapidated. Americans think that their government takes care of them and makes the investments that are necessary to make the country work. And for 30, 40 years, the investments
Charlie
were
Kirk
made.
for
And so under your
president? That's
leadership,
wild.
and direction, we are making those investments. And per your direction, right now we are interviewing what we could call a general contractor or an integrator. One company to manage. It's a massive project. The FAA is not qualified to manage this kind of a project. So we are now going through the process of finding who that one company will be to manage the whole project. We'll interview those companies together and make that selection. So we'll write one big beautiful check to one beautiful company that'll be
All right, guys,
responsible
and
for
Miss
this,
Allie's
this whole bill.
honorable contribution. We're starting
if I
one
just
more
make
super
one
chat
last
goal
point,
for
we
30
are-
minutes.
this
I
is
think
not
that's
enough
about how
money.
long
We're
this
gonna need
meeting's going to
more.
be. She's
It's,
reserved your
but
time
this is
here.
a massive new start. The
New
biggest
goal
investment.
out.
We'll need some more money
Let's
on
see
top
if we
of
can
but
match it.
A great start from the big beautiful.
Just starter. It was very important to us. And
It's
just
TTS,
so,
by the way, so if you
just
super
to cover
chat, put a
that,
message
you know,
so it
the
reads it out loud.
accidents
But
and,
don't make me regret it.
My pilots, I would often hear them say, oh, good, and they would use a different system, a different country to land in New York. They'd use the radar and other things from a different country. I said, what's that? He said, oh, our system is so bad. And I knew that. We were all set to start. And Boot at Edge came in, and what they did was so crazy because they hooked it copper into fiber, into steel, into they had all different systems. They had hundreds and hundreds of contractors, different contractors for different airports. They spent billions of dollars, and they made the system worse because you can't hook copper into fiber. It doesn't work that way. You just can't do it. It's not doable, but they tried to do it. Didn't work out too well. And in the end, it was just a complete disaster.
Elon Musk
We wanna
and
have
Charlie Kirk.
One
Wouldn't that
great
be
company.
hilarious?
Now, Raytheon's going to bid, IBM's going to bid. We have 5 or 6 bidders that really are good and do this stuff. And we want one, I tell, because I know about overruns, I look at the railroad out in California, headed up by one of the worst governors in our country, who I used to get along with actually, but he's just, you know, when you lose 25,000 houses and you would have had your cities burned down. If we didn't step in, Los Angeles would have been burned to the ground. But you look at that, and I said, I really know how to build, and you got to have one guy, one contractor, one great one, whether it's IBM or Raytheon is good, but you have 4 or 5 that are really, really great, and they're all bidding against each other. But you don't want to have one doing the wire, and one doing the digging, and one doing the demolition, and then they're all saying they all blame each other because they're saying they were late, and therefore you have to pay me millions of dollars more money. I know the system so well. And we're going to have a great company do the whole thing. We're going to get a fantastic price. Maybe we'll get them. They're very big and very strong, and maybe we'll get them to make a contribution toward getting it done at the right price. but we're going to have a great system. When we finish, we will have the best system on earth, done by one of the 2 or 3 best companies. There are only a few companies can do this. This is not. But if you would have seen what this other group did, they were going crazy. They had, I heard 3,000 contractors, and then when it all came together, guess what? It didn't work. It's a disaster. So we're going to have in a pretty short period of time, it's take us about 2 years to build it, and we'll have a contract given out probably over the next couple of months. We have some great bidders, some great companies that want to do the job. You're going to have great air traffic control.
Yes, can I just make one last
Okay.
point? So the last administration signed a contract with an American company to fix the copper to fiber, and that contract was a 15-year
Copper to fiber is a
contract.
big topic in this.
The system is failing today.
I respect it,
but that's
having
how
worked in the
idiotic
cell
and
phone
incompetent
industry.
The last administration was, and under your leadership,
We
we're
got
saying,
some of
listen,
chat
we don't
saying they're
have
joining
time. We don't have
Elon.
15 years. We don't have 5 years. We have
Don't
to
make me
do
bring
it
that poll back
right
up.
now. And so the president always talks about on time and on budget. We have embraced that. We are going to be
Is
on
that
time
Dr.
and on
Phil
budget.
himself?
And by the way, you mentioned a train out in California. Stay tuned for probably give us 5 days, and you'll have an answer on what's going to happen with the $4 billion that we potentially have invested on a train that's going to go nowhere. It's going to be $120 billion. They'll never connect San Francisco to LA. Again, the
What's
last
up, Kit Kat?
administration wasted so much money on
You here to
projects
join?
that never work. If you're going to have high-speed rail,
Just
you're
be
going to invest
comfy.
billions. We should actually have high-speed rail in America, not boondoggles that fund political friends and allies and family
They have from
members.
San Francisco, inside of San Francisco to inside of Los Angeles. It should have never been built because airplanes do it better. And you could drive it. You could drive it. No problem with driving it. The roads aren't even crowded. So they were going to do this. Somebody's idea. Somebody got paid off a lot of money, and they started it. It was going to cost a very small amount of money.
Iceman
And
said
it
it's
ended
nap
up
time.
costing
Yeah, for real. You
literally
mean for the
hundreds
president or
of
my
times
cat?
what the
Because
original- And now what they did is they said, well, going into the city is too big a deal. So we'll leave it 25 miles short of the city. So now they're leaving it, they're not going to finish it really. It's not the same project. So now they're leaving it outside of San Francisco and outside, short of each. They just want to get it done, and I've never seen cost overruns. You know, if you have a cost overrun of 10%, you should be ashamed of yourself. 20%, you should not do any more jobs. This is a cost overrun of 2,000%, something like that. It's unlimited, and it's not finished. And maybe it will never get finished. And I told Sean to look at it from every standpoint, but we don't want to, you know, we have federal money going into that, and it's like throwing it out the window. So whatever you can do to stop it.
$15 billion and not one track has been laid. $15 billion and we're 16 years into the project, not one track.
Mr. President,
on New York, you're the most prominent Republican in the country.
Chad, I just thought of a good goal reward.
Anywhere else?
For the next couple streams, I'll probably do, if we meet the super chat goal, I'll do a stream dressed as Trump. Only talking like Trump the whole stream.
Republican voters in the city to vote in the upcoming mayoral election. Should they vote for Eric Adams? Should they vote for Sliwa? Should they pick someone else?
Look, number one, you have a communist running, and you shouldn't vote for him. He's a disaster. He's leading. He's got the Democrat nomination because that shows you where the Democrats have gone. He actually wants to take over the grocery stores of John Catsimatidis, who's a great guy, a rich guy, grocer, does a good job, wants to take over. He actually called me the other day. He's concerned his stores are going to be taken from him, and they won't be run like John runs them. Believe me, he runs a good operation. But he actually said he wants to run his own grocery stores. No, this is a man who's not very capable, in my opinion, other than he's got a good line of bullshit, and he's convinced them to go with him. Now, as you know, Cuomo who does have
Yo,
capabilities,
Dennis, thank you for
right,
the
but he
sub
got
on YouTube. Welcome in.
knocked out, and now they're running as
The cat,
Eric Adams,
the
the
cat
current
literally.
mayor,
Have you guys ever seen a
and you have,
desensitized cat?
Curtis
A
Sliwa.
cat that'll literally let you do whatever
Curtis
you want
runs
with them as
every-
long as you're
every
touching
4
them.
years. He seems
Like
to
she
be a
does
fixture
not
on the
care. She just wants to
running
be
scale.
touched and rubbed,
but-
and
but,
someone to
you
pay
know,
attention
it's,
to her.
I'm not getting into
She
it.
loves belly rubs, bro. Look at her.
But I
Can
can
you guys
tell
see
you
that?
this,
Ooh, she loves it.
I used to say we will not ever
All right, come on, depart
be a
time.
socialist
No,
country.
depart.
Well, I'll say it again, we're not going to have. If a communist
just
gets
chill.
elected to run New York,
No clause. No.
it can never be the same. But we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to. We could run D.C. I mean, we're looking at D.C. We don't want crime in D.C.
Stop,
we want the
Pyra.
city to run
That's the
well.
mic.
Susie Wiles is working very closely with the mayor, and they're doing all right. I mean, in the sense that we would so good, it would be run so proper. We'd get the best person to run it. It would be the crime would be down to a minimal, would be much less. And, you know, we're thinking about doing it. To be honest with you, we want a capital that's run flawlessly, and it wouldn't be hard for us to do it. And we've had a good relationship with the mayor, and we're testing it to see if it works. But New York City will run properly. We're going to bring New York back.
Is this what it's like having a kid?
New York for a long time. Then we had a bunch of crooked people in there. You have an attorney general who's a total stone cold crook. New York State, Letitia James, a total crook. All they do is want to go after political opponents. They do what's ever expeditious for them. She's the one that took out Cuomo because she wanted to run for governor, and then she ended up getting 1% of the vote. She polled at 1%. She dropped out, went back to attorney general. You have a lot of crooked things going on in New York. We're going to straighten out New York.
All right, come on,
maybe
depart.
we're going to have to straighten it out from Washington. But when I see a communist who has actually gotten a Democrat, pretty much gotten a Democrat nomination, they also went to that new form of voting, which is a beauty. You go in there in third place, you come out in first. That's that form of voting that they have gone to. You know what I'm talking about. It's not too good. We're going to do something for New York. I can't tell you what yet, but we're going to make New York great again. Also, we're going to make it great again.
We're going to make everywhere
what
great.
we've done in this country in the last 6 months, nobody has ever seen it. And I told the story. The king of Saudi Arabia is over there. They
Look,
gave
I
us
told her to get
$5.1
away,
trillion
and she just gets
between Saudi
on the chair
Arabia
next to me.
and,
Sits on the
UAE,
arm.
Qatar. Three
Look at
stops.
this, guys.
5.1 trillion coming into
She's
our
like,
country
I'm
as
not
an
going
investment,
nowhere.
Biggest
What are you
investment
talking
ever
about?
made. And it's all going to good stuff. I mean, all real big, good stuff. Energy projects, big things. But they all three told me essentially the same thing. We thought your country was dead, and now you've got the hottest country in the world. We're right now riding the hottest country we are, and you can all be proud of it. We're
Holy
the hottest
shit.
country.
We
This
in
is the
California
hottest
pay
country
nearly $1
in the
trillion
world. There's
for all
nobody
the
close.
failed GOP red
Made
states.
hotter by
I dare this fool
some
to
great
cut
pilots
funding
and
to
great
us. The U.S.
machines
can't
that
survive
nobody
without
else
our
has. Those great,
ATM.
big, beautiful
Miss
machines
Allie,
that load
thank you
those
for the
machines right
$5
into
super
the
chat.
toughest
Again, you are
territory.
definitely the MVP of this
And nobody
stream.
knew what the hell happened.
You pay
And then they hit their targets
$1
perfectly.
trillion
And it
for
was
all the failed
complete
GOP red
and
states.
Total obliteration. And that's
Well,
why that war
with them
ended,
being
Steve.
cut
They
out
told
of
me
the
that's why
Cali
war ended. The war ended
area
when they
due to
saw
this
that,
government
it was
ruling,
over.
I'm not too sure how his
And,
funding
we're
likes are
very
going to be.
proud
I'll
of
say
it, but
that.
We have the hottest country in the world right now from a country
Appreciate
that
that,
was close
Allie.
to dead.
Number one.
And if I didn't win, if you would have had the other person win, we all know
If
who
we meet our
she
goal,
is,
it's because Allie
whether it was
carried
she
us.
Or Biden. They're the same.
First super chat that
He may have
used
been
the
more
message.
competent
Good
than
job.
her.
Thank you.
And that's hard to
Putting it
believe,
to
right?
use.
But if you had that ideology in, I don't believe you would have had a country anymore. I think you would have had a country that was broken up. But we had a dead country. Now we have the hottest country in the world, and everybody knows it, and everybody said it. Mr. Vice President, do you have anything to say?
We're going to have to write Miss Allie's name on one of my
I just wanna
hats.
say that, I'm very proud of the whole team. I think everybody.
I'm gonna have to get a Sharpie and start writing
Marco and Steve
top
working
contributors on some hats
diplomacy,
here.
Christy and Pam working on the border. We just have a really solid team, and we've done.
I'm going to remember you, Allie. You're going to be the first one I write.
I want to congratulate the White House staff, led by the president, on getting the one big beautiful bill passed.
Just be calm.
I was personally
No
skeptical.
clause.
Sorry, I never told you this, but I was skeptical we'd be able to get that thing done by July 4th. We did it because we worked together and we worked very well. So it's an honor to be a part of it, but I'm really proud of you guys for doing a great job.
The beautiful
Yes,
thing
sir.
about it,
Cher, one of the
something
OGs.
for-
Welcome in.
That's right.
Most people said it had to be broken into 7 bills. It's so big. The problem
We're almost at
was
200
some
likes.
of those
Everybody hit that
7
like button.
have nothing for anyone, but they had to be done
Do it for the cat.
country. You know, sometimes you have to do things for the country that aren't necessarily popular. We had a couple of them, and that wouldn't have worked. So the one big beautiful bill, many people said it could never be approved. too big, too everything, is too much. But it had something very big and very important for everyone, and it's great for the country. And remember, the Democrats have come up with a false narrative, just whatever. It's just a line that they send to everybody and that they print. I think in the case of this, it's death. Everyone's going to die.
Death.
I heard that.
That's a bad one.
Just the opposite. Everyone's going to live. What we're doing
Your
is
fur keeps getting in my
saving our
nose. It's
country
tickling me.
and making it much
Bethany
bigger,
L,
better,
thank
and
you for the
stronger
sub on
than it
YouTube.
ever was.
Welcome in.
I'd like to ask, Marco's been doing such a great job. Do you have anything to say?
Well, it's just going through a list here, Mr. President, and I think the Vice President's pointed out to the great team you have, and all these achievements that have happened domestically. But you think about it, under your leadership, we prevented and ended a war between India and Pakistan. NATO's now at 5% for the first time ever, the highest numbers ever.
This is Mark
Peace
Rubio
deal
again.
between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. A 12-day war that ended with an American operation that we're the only country in the world that could have done. Hopefully, pretty soon, a peace deal between Azerbaijan and Armenia. The entire Middle East and the infrastructure of it has the potential now to change because of Syria and Lebanon, and it hasn't even been 6 months.
Sure.
It hasn't even been 6 months, so it's a great testament to your leadership in this.
Yeah, thank you very much, and you've done a fantastic job. Could I just ask Linda, she's involved in so much, she's so talented and so good, and she's working on a couple of little things like Harvard, who was given $5.5 billion over a short period of time. We caught him on that one, it's crazy, but you're working on so much, you want to bring education back to the States. How are you doing?
Well, absolutely, and thank you for the opportunity. I think on the big, beautiful bill, what we saw, was
You can't even see her chat. I'm gonna keep it on
it's
Trump.
only on a national basis at the state level, but there are opportunities now for scholarships more and more.
Yo,
opportunities
Pablo,
for
thank you for the sub on
teachers in
YouTube.
schools.
Welcome in.
It's going to be a big turnaround. I think one of the biggest accomplishments we had over the past week was University of Pennsylvania with the Title IX ruling that Leah Thomas was stripped of her title, Riley Gaines and Paula Scanlon and other women who have stood, so strong against men and women's sports. And when you put out the executive order.
Guys,
that
Miss
just
Allie and
solidified
Company is
and gave
currently the
them
MVP of the
opportunity. So those are a
stream with
couple of
2
really,
super
really big
chats.
wins, and
If
thank
we can
you
get
for that
4 more, I already said next couple days, if we meet 1 super chat goal for the day, I'll dress as Trump for the next stream.
It's not wrapped up as fast as I wanted to.
I'll do his voice the whole time.
And you've done a fantastic job. Thank
See
you
if
very
anybody
much.
passes Miss Allie as
You have a
MVP.
great
Around this table, a lot of people help with that.
That's right. Thank you very much. Maybe just in closing, we spent a lot of time, effort, very little money on this room. This is called the Cabinet Room. It's been here for a long time. And it had some pictures that were not many of them and not very good ones. And I actually spent time in the vaults. The vaults are where we have a lot of great pictures and artwork. And I picked it all myself. I'm very proud of it. That's Andrew Jackson, great Andrew Jackson.
Oh, you're tired, Pyro.
A
You're trying to take a
gentleman
nap.
named, and we call him President Polk. He was sort of a real estate guy. He was
President
people
Polk.
don't realize he was
Woo,
he was
Romeo. Thank you for the
a
sub on
one-termer,
YouTube.
but
Welcome
He
in.
was a very good president, but, and I'm not sure I should be doing this, he actually gave us
Yo,
the
who
state of
doesn't have
California.
anime?
He was the one. He was the one. So I'm not sure, maybe he won't be there for long. But if you notice, the frame is the exact same size almost as the other one is Andrew Jackson. So that was a part of the reason too, I have to be honest. But Polk was actually a very good president who's got the same frame that I needed, okay? And up here you have the original George Washington right behind the light. And then you have Dwight Eisenhower, who was a very underrated president, built the interstate system, and he was the toughest president, I guess, until we came along. But I don't mind giving up that crown, because I don't want to be too tough on it, but we want to be humane. But he was the toughest president on immigration. He was very strong at the
We need more
borders.
love in
Very,
chat,
very
bro.
strong.
Chat's
And,
toxic
You can
sometimes.
be too strong. He was strong on the borders, and during a certain period of time, they were so strong that almost every farmer in California went bankrupt. And we have to remember that. We have to work together, and we have to remember that. But he was a very good president, and a very good general, and a very good president, and I thought he deserved a position somewhere on this floor. And then you
All
have,
right,
this is
deport.
very exciting to me.
Deport
he
Kit
was
Kat.
not a Republican, to
You're
put it
deported.
bluntly,
Stay over
but
there.
He was,
You've been deported.
He was a four-termer. He was Franklin
Too much fur.
Delano Roosevelt. And if you notice, there were a lot of ramps outside. We have ramp. People say it's an unusual place for a ramp. It was because of him. He was wheelchair bound, but he was an amazing man. It's an amazing portrait, and we used to have him in the room, a different portrait, and it was a terrible portrait. It was almost like it was done by a child. And I used to say, you know, I can't believe that he would have approved of that portrait of himself. And I was in the vaults and looking at things. I said, what's that? And we have some great curators here. We have 6 curators at the
Yo,
White House.
William, thank you for the sub
2
on
for
YouTube.
paintings,
Welcome
They
in.
have them for furniture. They have them for different things. I guess cost is no object. Okay, cost is, maybe I'd have 1, but that's all right. But we have 6, and they're very talented, though. And he said, that's a picture of FDR. I said, really? Let me see it. They took off the wrappings, very well preserved. And I said, that's the picture they've been looking for years. That was the picture of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And I said, oh, wow. And likewise, that fit, see frame-wise, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work if you have, I want to be nice, but it doesn't work if you have a big frame, a little frame, and you, but it's like perfection. I'm a perfectionist. The mirror was down in the vaults also. I said, where is this from? And it's a very old, very storied mirror, beautiful. We put that up. And then over there is Honest Abe Lincoln.
What are we talking
And
about?
that
Like the
picture was
decoration in the
his,
room? Everybody's going
in
like,
his bedroom. And we thought that this would be a very important place because this is where wars are ended. I'm not going to say wars are declared. I'm going to say wars are ended, okay? We'll be positive. And,
it's
that's the
yeah,
picture
nap
of
time for sure.
Abe Lincoln from his bedroom, sat in the bedroom for many, many years. That was his favorite picture of himself.
What the fuck
And
are
the
we
Lincoln
talking
bedroom is
about?
very famous. You remember when Bill Clinton had it and he rented it out to people. Okay, we don't do that. But it's an incredible.
Yo,
it's an
Toby,
incredible
thank you for
room,
the
and we
sub
took
on
that
YouTube.
picture
Welcome in.
From his bedroom. That's Abe Lincoln. And then over here you have John Adams, and it's they were the first occupants of the White House, 1800. And John Quincy Adams, Mrs. Adams, they were the first occupants. So we have them looking at each other, and in between their stare is Abraham Lincoln trying to make peace. And that picture was in a room that I have that was not important like the cabinet. I gave it up. I said, I have to give it up because that's one of the greatest pictures of the White House. The White House is tremendous art. And the Oval Office, when we're there, we'll go over that. That's really been something. Then
Yo,
we got the drapes, we
Burman
got the whole
Spark,
thing. We
thank
got
you for
new
the sub on
drapes. We got
YouTube.
new-
And
it
Toby,
wasn't a big
thank you for the
expense,
sub on
very
YouTube.
small.
Welcome in, guys.
And we took some of the chinaware and silverware and trophy-ware, they call it, from the vaults, and we had it cleaned up. Hadn't been.
We got
shined
9
up in
minutes
100
left in
years.
our
Some of
super
this was
chat
sat in
goal.
the
It
vaults
is
for
text
over
to
100
speak. It's
years,
read out
amazing.
loud.
Over
Ali is our
100 years.
top
Many of the
contributor for the
pictures that were
stream.
put up
Let's
in
see
the
if we
Oval
close out
Office
on
as an
5.
example, those two as an example. So he was president. They moved in 1800, and he won the election, I believe, in November of 1800. John Quincy Adams. And we thought that would be he was considered to be a good president, and he was the first occupant of the White House, so it sort of made sense. And I love the frame of those pictures.
June
Look at
says
those
he's
frames.
nuttier than
I'm
a
a
squirrel
frame person.
turd. That's
Sometimes I like frames more than I like the pictures.
what an idiom. I like it.
We have the flags of the Marines, and Space Force now has its own flag. I'm very proud of Space Force, but the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, the whole thing.
The whole thing.
And Coast Guard is right there. We never forget the Coast Guard. They do a great job. So we have the flags throughout the office, and it's really become quite a beautiful place. I don't want to tell this. Oh, Marco pointed it out. I was going to leave the clock. So as president, you have the power. If I go into the State Department or Department of Commerce or Treasury, if I see
Into the
anything
void.
that I
Thank you
like,
for the
I'm
sub
allowed
on
to take
YouTube.
it.
Welcome in.
Do you believe this? So I'm in Marco's. I see this gorgeous clock, grandfather clock, and there it is. I said, Marco.
What the fuck is this? Adderall story
I
hour?
didn't know about it. I had to read him the rule and regulation. I said, Marco, I love this clock. Look at it. beautiful. He said, what clock? I said, the clock that's in the other room is incredible, and nobody gets to see it there.
Nobody gets to
Marco,
see it
I
there.
tried to talk him into it first, and it sort of worked, and then I had to use a little more. I said,
Oh
"I'd
my
love to
God, what
take
are we
that
talking
clock out and
about?
Put it in the cabinet room." He said, "No." Are
This
you
is what
serious?"
a cabinet meeting is like.
Marco, I have the
2025.
right to do it,
Yo,
Marco.
Johnny, thank you for
And
the
he
sub on
said,
YouTube.
"All right,
Welcome
what-
in.
So that's his contribution to the cabinet room. But it's, by the way, it's an incredible clock, and you know it's
the best clock I've ever
so
seen.
you may
It's
see
from
it
China.
again. Maybe we'll move it back sometime. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. But it really is great.
Oh, now let's look at the other side of the fucking room. Oh my God.
Lamps have been very important.
What the
actually,
fuck are we doing?
Whether people love them or not, but if you see pictures like Pearl Harbor and Tora, you see.
What do the lamps have to do with Pearl
White House
Harbor?
Where wars are being discussed.
Get me out of
Oftentimes
here.
They show those lamps or something like those lamps, something that looks like them. Probably not the reals, because I don't think they were allowed to. This is a very important room. This is a sacred room. And I don't think they made movies from here. You never know.
Nobody
what
else
they
is
do.
going to be as
But they
coverable
were
as Trump in the
missing
future. I'll say that,
medallions.
guys.
See the medallions up top?
He's the most
They had a chain
coverable
going into the
president.
ceiling. And I said, you can't do that. You have to have a medallion. They said, what's a medallion? I said, I'll show you. And we got some beautiful.
Is anybody who
medallions,
hasn't
and you
smoked
see
here,
them.
like,
They were
following
that
along
makes
perfectly?
The lamps looks better. So we did these.
I need one of you to write me a
these
summary
changes, and,
of
you know, when you think of it, the cost
everything.
was almost nothing. We also painted the room a nice color.
It's a
beige
beautiful room.
color.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, guys. It's a
And
beautiful
been,
room.
It's been really something. The
I'm
only
not saying the
question
room's
is,
not
will I
beautiful.
gold leaf the corners? You could maybe tell me my cabinet could take a vote. You see the top line moldings, and the only question is, do you gold leaf it? Because you can't paint it. If you paint it, it won't look good, because they've never found a paint that looks like gold. You see that in the Oval Office. They've tried for years and years. Somebody could become very wealthy, but they've never found a paint that looks like gold. So painting it is easy, but it won't look right. And the question is whether or not we should gold leaf it. Linda, do you have an opinion?
Oh, Linda,
You like it
please.
the way?
Please, Linda, take over.
You'd gold leaf it. Who would gold leaf it? Could I raise you? How about, would you gold leaf it?
I was gonna ask about McKinley. One of their favorite presidents.
Well, McKinley was a great president who never got credit. In fact,
Yo, Andy, thank you for
they
the sub on
changed the name,
YouTube.
remember?
Welcome in.
McKinley, and I
Guys, we have
changed it
5
back
minutes left on our
because
super
he
chat
said,
goal.
and the people of
I'm counting
Ohio
2
were very
since
huge to come to
Ali's
Ohio.
done
The
it twice
people
now.
of
So
Ohio
technically 3 more
were
super
very
chats.
happy when I did
We'll meet
that.
our goal.
They were
I'll do
very
a
insulted. They took the
stream
name of
dressed
Mount
as Trump,
McKinley off.
covering
That was
Trump.
done by Obama a little while ago, and
Let's see if we meet it. 5 minutes
I
left.
had to change it back. I changed it back. He actually was a great president. He was a president. He was the tariff, the most, I guess, since me. I think I'm going to outdo him, but he was a tariff president. He believed that other countries should pay for the privilege of coming into our country and taking our jobs and taking our treasure. That's the way he explained it. They took our jobs and they took our treasure, and for that they should pay.
Our treasure?
And he made them pay, and he built a tremendous fortune. In fact, in 1887, they had the Great Tariff Committee was set up in 1887 because our country had so much money, we didn't know what to do with it. And they set up a committee of, as they called them, elites, a term that we have to change, because I think a lot of the people that are elites aren't elite. I think the people that aren't elite are elite, so we're gonna have to maybe switch that around somehow. But they had a committee that was set up to spend the money, because it was such a large amount of money at that time. It was, nobody had seen anything like it. And it all came in from tariffs. And people didn't pay tax. There was no income tax system. I told you that came back in 1913. That
Oh, we're
came
talking way back,
and,
okay.
Lived well for a while, and then you had the Great Depression. And then later, they tried to bring back tariffs, but the whole thing was, this was after the Depression. That was one of the great misconceptions, is people like to say, oh, but it was during the, but no. The country had a Great Depression, and then after the Depression, long after it started, they brought back tariffs to see if they could save it, but it took them really 25 years. When you say about 25 years to get out of the Great Depression, a lot of people don't understand that. But I thought it would be interesting for you to get a little view of this room. This is a very important room, very powerful room, great room. And we've done similar, but even beyond this, in the Oval Office, we brought back pictures of some of the great presidents. Many of them were in the vaults for over 100 years.
Trump wants to be one of those pictures
Originals all,
really bad.
Beautiful, beautiful things.
What do you guys think, Chad?
rather
Do we
than
put
sitting in a
Trump's
vault
face
downstairs
in the Oval
for
Office? Does he get his own
128
picture in the
years,
Congress meeting
I
room?
thought we should display that. And
In
we
the
did
cabinet
that, I
meeting
think,
room?
in a really good way. We've gotten very high marks. But it's interesting. People walk into that room and they look around the room. They don't even want to talk to me. They could look at it for hours. It's funny when people come into the Oval Office. It's such an incredible. It's a sacred place. When people come into the Oval from the biggest people in the world, presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, one case at least, queens, and the biggest business people in the world. They walk into that office and.
Yeah, Kristen,
I
you're right.
always say
His
this,
best subject
there's
was definitely
no
history
place
in school.
like this in the whole world in terms of the
Can you
power
imagine Trump
I mean,
as a
it's
kid,
beautiful
like
and all,
little
but
little
there are
student Trump?
beautiful offices. You
I
have
wonder how he
businessmen
acted.
that have offices that are, you know,
This is the best
full floors
backpack.
of office buildings.
My mom, my
Floor
dad,
to
they bought me the
ceiling
best
glass, and They
backpack.
walk in there and they say,
It's from China.
"There's no place like this anywhere in the world. There's no place." And you know, it's what it represents, maybe more than the physicality of the room itself. So it's an honor to have you all, media. It's an honor to have you. I just want to say we have a fantastic cabinet. Every one of them is a star in my book. And if they're not, I'll let you know about it. I don't
All right, guys, looks like he's wrapping it up. There's only a minute left on our super chat goal, and then we're gonna end off for today. If we get 3 more in the next minute, I'll do that Trump stream. If not, we'll try again tomorrow. Pop back. Way too many people are asking questions right now. Way too many people are asking questions.
Yeah, I will. Are we talking about next week?
I can't hear anybody's questions.
I'll be going to the game. Yeah, I'm going to deliver it. They have it in my office. You're right.
Yo, Yves, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome in. Oh, wow. Okay. I thought the cameraman was going to show us the ceiling. That would have been great. I would have loved to see
Just moments ago.
Stop the tapestries and stuff that he was talking about. Whoever the cameraman was should have shown us, because I was kind of interested when he was talking about it. Instead, we just got to watch him. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of the stream with 10 seconds left in that goal. I want to go ahead and shout out Allie as our top contributor for the stream. Really, you're the MVP. We love you. Appreciate you. Everybody put W Allie in the chat. Allie is the carrier of this stream for the super chats, the homie for real. I'm glad you guys stayed along. We're gonna be live same time again tomorrow, and I got some interesting content coming out. This next one, half of y'all might like. I got how fast I can eat a Subway sandwich, and let me just give you a little heads up. It's fast as fuck, boy. So yeah, hit that sub button if you want to see more, and I'll catch you guys on the next stream. Appreciate it, you guys. Peace.